Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Informal back with a new podcast. We are on the Mr. Informal 82nd podcast. I hope you are doing well today. Hope your weekend is doing great. We are on the month of October. This month is also the season of Halloween and also pumpkin. And then the next month will be the season of Thanksgiving. And then, as you know, the season of Christmas and New Year's. And so don't forget to add me on Instagram at MisterInformal. That's Mr. Informal. And then check out my website, mrinformal.com. MRINFORMAL.com. So, these are the 4 topics for the Mr. Informal podcast. Number 1, the trend in drone shipment. So Amazon is not the only one that's actually going to do that. Number 2, Forever 21 has officially filed for bankruptcy. Yes. Number 3, H&M actually grows, meaning they actually made profit. Number 4, Facebook and WhatsApp and the government. So that is going to be interesting. So those are the 4 topics for this week, Mr. Informal podcast. And so let's go ahead and start it. So as for the first topic, looking at supplychaindive.com, articles state patent pending, Walmart plans for drone delivery, other tackles faster picking in the end of lost inventory. So basically, Walmart filed 2 complaints this week looking at drone delivery, specifically dealing how to safely and securely drop off packages when they get to their destination. Currently receiving delivery from a drone means having to drop it on the ground, at least according to Amazon FAA application. So Amazon is not the only one who's looking into this. Walmart is too. So whatever Amazon does, others, I guess you can say, copy. So, what does this mean? I mean, it doesn't really mean anything. All I can say is another way of shipment. I guess we're not there yet in terms of the Jetson shipment and also even the Futurama shipments where they have tubes, and in the Jetson, as you know, they have high-speed aircraft shipment or how should I say this? Carplane shipments, I guess you can say, and aero cars. So we're not there yet. I guess drone is just another way of shipment. And here's the thing. It's also, you're not gonna need humans, but you will need humans on control or piloting the drone. But will they? I mean, will drones be automated? But here's the kicker. As you know, many people can shoot down a drone. So you have to find something to have it securely ship the package to its destination. And I'm pretty sure Amazon is trying to figure this out. And sadly, the technology is just not there yet. We need flying cars to avoid traffic. And I think that if we do have flying cars, you're not going to go through traffic. And so you are able to fulfill your shipments in a timely manner. None of that at the end of the day. By 8 p.m. it's sickening. You get what I mean? It is absolutely sickening. So it's just a patent. I don't understand why they're even patenting this. I guess they don't want to get in trouble with Amazon. But the fact is that, do we really need a patent for this? And in the sketch of the patent, they have a landing zone. You get what I mean? It's almost like an airport, a landing airport for these drones to drop off packages. But what about sensitive items, fragile items? I mean, is it gonna land safely and then fly it goes? Or is it just gonna drop it? No one really knows. But this is just another way of shipping the item. And I'm glad that Walmart is getting into it. And hopefully others can look into it. And I still think that we need actual drivers or pilots, you can say, to actually ship items. We're not in the automated system yet. And I'm waiting for the day that we had the Jetson, the Futurama shipment, where we had the tubes and we had the flying cars. I'm waiting for those days. So, this week, Forever 21 filed for bankruptcy. So, with Forever 21, and this from the retaildive.com article, with Forever 21 looking to close up a third of its domestic footprint in bankruptcy, some 690 million in sales is up for grabs, meaning other competition is going to look at it. So analysts think that American Eagle Outfitters, Express, Abercrombie and Fitch, Hollister, and others such as also H&M, Zara, and other fast fashion, even Gap and Urban Outfitters is going to benefit. So in its peak, Forever 21 did more than 4 billion in sales. I am not surprised. I mean, I remember a couple years ago where Forever 21 was setting up shop every damn day in every damn country in the world, and nothing was stopping them. And that's the point. You shouldn't have to go set up shop that fast. You need to slow down, evaluate your procedures and process. Stop thinking about the bottom line. The problem is the management is always thinking about the bottom line. Always. And I've seen the history of Forever 21 from Business Insiders, and I've seen it from my boss and also other co-workers. And yes, I do work in the fashion industry, and I have been told of the story. There have been a lot of scandals, a lot of drama inside Forever 21 HQ. And I've been told by that. So, Forever 21 aims to wind down much of its international footprint and focus on the US and Latin America. Wow, really? And you didn't think of that way before? But several retail observers think the retail's problems run deeper, with younger shoppers drifting to Zara, H&M, and resales, while many Forever 21 stores are out of date and located in the struggling malls. So, I mean, this is just, you see, look, fine, that's fine if you want to file for bankruptcy. How about just thinking over the overall footprint of your company and say, what do we need to scale down on, or what do we need to focus on? I mean, it's pretty obvious that retail is changing. It's ongoing evolution. And that's how fashion is. It's an ongoing evolution. There's going to be times where you have a revolution, but it's an ongoing evolution. You need to update and upgrade. You got to be in trend. So now you got to look at your management. You got to look at your CEO. Okay, then it's pretty obvious that CEO is not trying to see a vision. You got to have a vision, but apparently they don't have a vision. And now they're probably thinking, hey, why did we go to bankruptcy? And hey, how come our consumers not buying? Well, it's pretty obvious. Fashion back then, 5 years ago, fashion back was different to now. You can't expect to always be the same. I mean, Zara has changing things, H&M is changing, Urban Outfitters is also changing its ways, Abercrombie is also changing its ways. I mean, everybody is going through that. You know, for this to even happen, you got to have a company who has a vision, who's always trying to seek out, hey, what's the competition doing? What do we need to do? What do the numbers say? Hey, what do the customers are saying about our stores? What about our designs? What about our fashion? Look, I can go on and on and on about Forever 21. All I can say is that I am absolutely surprised that they actually filed for bankruptcy. But what I am not surprised is the lack of leadership and the vision and the company's goals for the future. Because again, I've known people on the inside telling me this, that, blah, 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 and go on and on. So, where does that Forever 21 go from here? Well, I don't really know. I need to see what the CEO say. I mean, the company will go wherever the CEO will go. I mean, that's how with any companies are. And if you work for a company, you obviously know that the company will only go as the company sees its future. So we're on the third topic. Again, on the retail.com, H&M's fresh strategy ushers in first profit growth in 2 years. That is the headline title. So it says H&M on Thursday reported that third quarter net sales rose 12% to 62.6 billion Swedish krona. That's $6.36 billion, according to exchange rate at press time in the third quarter. Thanks to well-received summer collection, online sales rose 30% in Swedish krona, and business rose 18%, according to company press release. Gross profit in the third quarter expanded by 13% to 31.8 billion Swedish krona, corresponding to a gross margin 50.8%, up from 50.3% a year ago. Wow. The company said despite external pressures like strong US dollar, cost markdowns in relation to sales decreased by about 2 percentage points year over. That's not bad. Profit after financial items rose 25% to 5 billion Swedish krona, and the group's after-tax profit rose 3.86% Swedish krona from $3.1 billion a year ago quarter. Wow, that's actually a pretty good rise. Operating profit rose 26% quarter. Wow. So the strategy is basically scaling back previous plans for a brick and mortar expansion, stoking e-commerce, and amplifying sustainability efforts in manufacturing at retail is gaining traction. H&M's strategic overhaul, in which the value player has embraced the shift away from physical retail to digital in the beginning to reap rewards. Well, that's pretty obvious. I mean, if you scale back, your spending reduces, and if you focus on e-commerce, which doesn't take a lot of manpower, well, that's pretty obvious. Okay, so H&M pulled back from opening its stores with a net 120 new location this year, from about 175 so from 175 stores to 120. So it's pretty obvious that fast fashion is not dead. I guess it just depends on how you create a strategy. And certainly H&M has always been doing well when it comes to strategy. I think their strategy is much better than Zara. Look, the Swedish are quite wise and quite clever when it comes to business planning. They obviously study consumer behavior. They obviously study their profits, their planning, their process, and their seasons, and also their future. What does that remind you of? IKEA. And H&M and IKEA are both from the same country, so I am not surprised. So this goes back to the previous topic of Forever 21. Now that Forever 21 is filed for bankruptcy, will they take some market share? Will H&M take some market share from Forever 21? Well, that's what it's going to look like. And this is great news for H&M. They're basically saying, okay, this is great. So one of our competitors have filed for bankruptcy, and so I cannot wait. So where did that lead us? Well, H&M is doing quite well. I mean, I don't know what else to say. I think that they've learned. The same thing with Forever 21. They gotta update and upgrade. They gotta see the whole goals in the future, and it seems like their sustainability and a lot of consumer confidence are coming back to them, and that's something that you gotta be quite proud of, especially with H&M sales going. So we are on the last topic of the podcast. So when coming to tech, from arstechnica.com, US wants Facebook to backdoor WhatsApp and halt encryption plans. So, Attorney General William Barr plans to once again make his case against end-to-end encryption for the masses, this time in a public call for Facebook to ensure law enforcement can decrypt messages when investigating careless child abusers and other criminals. Barr, along with other counterparts from UK and Australia, plan to publish an open letter that makes the case. See, I don't need to read the rest of the article. As you know, I'm not a fan of the government snooping on its public, on its people, as per the United States Constitution. The right to privacy. So, what do I really think of this? I think this is just another way of trying to get have the government saying child abusers and all that stuff. Come on. You see, here's the thing, okay? I've said it before and I've said it so many times. As long as humans are alive, anything will and can go wrong. It can be abused, it can be misused. You see, if I was a terrorist, child abuse and all that, I mean, it's pretty obvious I want encryption, but come on. Do I really? I mean, if I was that, I would just stay silent, because you know that if you're doing this, you move in silence. You don't expose yourself. You don't do it in public. You do it hidden, like a ninja, basically. So, the government is basically saying, hey, we want to spy on on the American people, which they have been due to the Patriot Act, which I was not a fan of, and I don't remember stopping terrorism, doing terroristic acts. I mean, it never found Osama bin Laden. I mean, there's still been things going on in this country. So seriously, what is really the point here? You see, I'm not really a fan of the government spying on its people. I mean, I want the government to do its job, meaning actually doing governmental stuff. You know, if you want to do an investigation, do it. But don't do it don't do it to spy on millions or billions. See, this is why a lot of people nowadays don't like the government, because it never trusted. The government abuses power, misused, abused, whatever you want to call it. And so, I mean, I can't believe that they want Facebook to create a backdoor to access WhatsApp. You know, if I was WhatsApp, I'll be like, screw you. You know what? We're gonna make our app even harder to decrypt. And screw the UK government. I mean, look, I don't get it. WhatsApp is not the only messaging app out there. And you think that just because you can get a backdoor, you know what? If I was these people, I'd move on to another app. What's the point? Heck, there are ways to make yourself hidden. I mean, if you message somebody, heck, you can even do it in code. Heck, you can even do some slang, some shenanigans. Hey, come on, this is just obvious stuff here. I mean, I don't need to basically let you all know what's going on here. And as a matter of fact, heck, you can even do private messaging in Twitter too. Heck, what about Instagram? So the list goes on and on. And so that basically concludes the Mr. Informal podcast, the 82 Mr. Informal podcast. Hope you learned something today, and I hope you actually it generates some thoughts into you. And so don't forget to add me on Instagram, MisterInformal, and check out my website, mrinformal.com, mrinformal.com. And so I will see you in the next podcast. Bye-bye.